Yep.
Hi, this is Abram Pelch with Laptop Magazine, and we're here today with the Acer Aspire 1 D255. This is a 10-inch notebook that is 10-inch netbook that is running on Intel's Atom N550 dual-core CPU, one of the first we've seen. And you'll notice if you look at the desktop here that it's running Android 1.6. It actually also runs Windows. If you scroll on up over to the corner, which you may not be able to see on film, you can actually boot into Windows. We have it set to boot into Android first because we thought it was kind of interesting, but you can configure it to either boot or not boot into Android. As you can see, if we click on over into the apps menu, there aren't that many apps here. You don't get the Google Marketplace. You don't really get much in the way of Google. You don't get Google Maps. You don't get any of those standard Google things. But you do get to play around. Obviously, there's no touch screen, so you've got to kind of simulate. You've got to use the mouse, and if you want to get to the menu, you don't have buttons, so you've got to right-click to get the menu at the bottom. It's interesting also here in this iteration of Android is that you actually have two different browsers. You click here and you get this version of Firefox here, which is rather strange and doesn't interact with the rest of the operating system. For example, if I go up here and I want to copy and paste this URL or cut and paste this URL, it won't share a clipboard with the rest of Android. And the only way to get out of it is to close it. You can't multitask with this weird version of Firefox. At the same time, if I go over here into the apps menu, there's the standard stock Android browser here. Why does it have two browsers? The going theory is that the Firefox browser offers some additional functionality, like the ability to upload files that are on the hard drive that you won't get in the standard stock Android browser. Now, despite the fact that this comes with a very limited number of applications, we do know that we can sideload applications onto it to get a better experience. So, you click here, obviously you can switch to Windows, and it's going to boot right into Windows 7 Starter, which we've all grown to know and love. So let's just take a quick look around the system as it's booting. You've got obviously a chiclet keyboard here. You've got a nice little touchpad here, single mouse button. On the side over here, we've got an Ethernet port, Kensington lock, USB, our audio jacks, our card reader. Go around the front, we just see our status lights. On the left side, we've got VGA out, two more USBs, and the AC power slot. So nothing that we haven't seen before. You can see this is really thin and light. It's got a 6-cell, about 4,900 milliamp battery. We haven't gotten to test the battery life yet, but we will be testing it. And you can see that it's a standard 1024 by 600 Windows 7 screen here, and you've got this configuration program here that lets you decide whether you want it to boot into Android or boot into Windows when you first turn on the computer. Right now we have it set to boot into Android, but let's say you didn't want that feature, well, that's fine. You can just set this to boot to Windows only. Anyway, that's a quick first look at the Acer Aspire 1 D255, and this is Abram Pelch for Laptop Magazine.